Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're doing something really special. We're stepping right into a story, a fascinating conversation between a wise guru, which is a teacher, and a curious student, known as a Shishya. Whether you're 7 years old or 70, we're going to listen in as they bridge the ancient 5,000-year-old wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita's 15th chapter with the mind-blowing discoveries of cutting-edge modern science. Together, we'll explore cosmic theories, quantum physics, and age-old philosophy to help you find clarity, peace, and a way to totally excel in this wild adventure we call life. Let's dive in. So imagine the Shishya, the student, looking up at the guru and asking that one question we've all wondered about at some point. You know the one. Why do good people face challenges in life? I mean, why isn't everything just easy, like eating ice cream and playing all day long? It's a question that stops us all in our tracks, right? Well, to answer it, the guru explains that we actually have to rethink a massive assumption we make about being human. We usually think the whole point of life is just to be comfortable and never ever have a bad day. But what if we've got the goal completely wrong? The guru just smiles gently and shares a huge secret. He says, freedom from suffering isn't actually the ideal. The real goal is wisdom. The universe isn't a giant amusement park designed to give us endless playtime and pleasure. Instead, it's designed to wake us up. It's built to teach us profound, lasting wisdom. And you know, when the Shishya understands this new framework, suddenly all those hard days and frustrating moments start to make a whole lot more sense. Think of it this way. The universe is basically a massive spiritual gym. When you go to a real gym, or when you're running super fast on a playground, your muscles might ache. They might literally cry out in pain on the treadmill, but you're not hurting yourself, you're getting stronger. In the exact same way, Ishvara, or the Supreme Creator, uses life's challenges to help us build our inner spiritual muscles. Okay, let's move into our first main section, the upside-down cosmic tree. The guru tells his student to imagine a giant magical peepal tree. In the ancient Sanskrit language, this is called the Ashwattha. Now, the word Ashwattha literally translates to that which will not be there tomorrow. It's a brilliant symbol for the endless, ever-changing cycle of our lives. It's indestructible as a whole, but its leaves and branches are constantly shifting and changing, just like our daily experiences. But here's the absolute wild twist with this tree. It grows upside down. Yeah, the roots are way up high in the invisible, pure sky of the supreme consciousness known as Brahman. And the branches? They stretch downward into our physical world. The little twigs are the things we can actually see, smell, and taste. All of our toys, our games, our sense objects. It's such a beautiful way to show that everything in our physical world actually stems from a higher, invisible spiritual root. Now, if we get too tangled up in those lower branches, getting obsessed with toys or money or just temporary pleasures, we get totally stuck. To break free from that tangled web of frustration, the guru says we need a superpower called vairagya. That's true detachment. It acts like a strong axe. And don't worry, it doesn't mean you can't have fun. It just means you can play with your toys and enjoy the world, but you don't cry when it's time to put them away. Which brings us to section 2, the hardware and the data. To make this detachment crystal clear for today's world, the guru shares an awesome modern metaphor. Think of your individual soul, your jivatma, as a little USB pen drive. This pen drive holds all your really important files, your knowledge, your character, your good deeds. Now, your physical body and your brain, that is just a laptop you've borrowed from nature. You plug your pen drive into the laptop to do your work, play games, and learn. But eventually, the laptop runs out of battery or gets too old, and you have to return it. Your pen drive, however, that stays with you forever. So breaking it down into 3 simple levels of existence, we have kshara, which is the perishable physical body, the borrowed laptop. Then we have akshara, the imperishable individual soul, that enduring pen drive. And finally, beyond both of those, is Purushottama, the supreme or pure consciousness. If the body is the laptop and the soul is the pen drive, Purushottama is the ultimate electricity. It's the power source that keeps the entire universe running. Without it, absolutely nothing works. Let's pivot a bit for section 3, ancient wisdom meets quantum science. It's honestly mind-blowing. Thousands of years ago, the Gita described the universe going through endless cycles of cosmic creation and dissolution over billions of years, vast, unimaginable scales of time. Fast forward to today, and modern scientific cosmology theorizes a Big Bang that could actually be part of a cyclical, bouncing universe that expands and contracts over and over.
The ancient sages and our modern scientists are quite literally looking at the exact same cosmic dance. And it goes even deeper than that. Krishna teaches that a single, unified divine reality pervades and connects absolutely all living creatures. We are all one. Amazingly, this finds a surprising echo in modern physics, specifically quantum entanglement. This is the proven idea that once two tiny particles are connected, they stay deeply connected regardless of distance. If one moves, the other reacts instantly, even if they're on opposite sides of the galaxy. It's like invisible strings of unity tying the entire universe together, just as the ancient texts described. You can think of our brains as climbing a cognitive ladder, kind of like leveling up in a video game. Down at the bottom level, our brains just receive raw sensory signals, like seeing a color or feeling a bump. But as we climb higher, using our mind, our inner self, and finally pure consciousness, we elevate human understanding. We turn those raw signals into real knowledge, then into rich experiences, and finally, at the very top, into transformative wisdom. Both science and spirituality are trying to climb this exact same ladder.
So how do we actually reach that peak in our daily lives? Let's look at section 4, Beyond the Illusion. The Guru shares this really beautiful storybook analogy from the ancient Upanishads about two birds sitting in the very same tree. The lower bird is busy eating the fruits of the tree. Sometimes they're sweet and the bird is thrilled. Sometimes they're bitter and the bird is miserable, throwing a tantrum. But higher up in the tree sits the higher bird. This bird doesn't eat the fruits. It just sits there completely serene, calmly observing everything. The great secret here? We have to realize that we are actually the higher bird. When life hands us bitter fruits, we don't have to freak out. We can step back, detach, and simply watch. What's amazing is that modern neuroscience is exploring this exact same idea. They're looking into something called supracortical consciousness. It suggests that our physical brain doesn't actually create consciousness. Instead, it acts merely as a sensor or home, kind of like a highly advanced radio antenna tuning into a universal reality. The brain might be the home for the cognitive orchestra, but it's that invisible consciousness that's actually playing the music. As we wrap up this explainer, we're moving into section 5, Questions for Self-Discovery. A good guru always leaves their shishya with some homework, right? So here's your first question to think about. If your physical body is just a borrowed laptop, what meaningful data are you saving onto your eternal pen drive today? Seriously, look at your daily actions. Are you getting too obsessed with making the temporary hardware look shiny, or are you prioritizing the permanent data of your soul, like being kind and honest? Here's the second one. When you're faced with life's bitter fruits, maybe a bad grade, a tough day at work, a fight with a friend, do you react with despair and anger like that lower bird? Or do you step back to view the larger spiritual picture? Remember that gym analogy. Are you letting the pain totally defeat you, or are you using it to build your wisdom? And finally, ask yourself this. Is your ultimate pursuit in life merely quick, fleeting pleasure, or is it lasting, transformative wisdom? As the Shishya learned from the Guru today, we are all part of this incredible, infinite cosmic web. Keep this final question in mind as you navigate your world, and perhaps you'll find exactly the peace, clarity, and strength you've been searching for. Thanks for joining us on this journey.